Willpower's Inverse News, August 26, 2019. Proud Boys founder Gavin McInnes went on the Alex Jones show following the conviction of Proud Boy members Maxwell Hare and John Kinsman on charges of attempted gang assault in a brawl with Antifa last fall on the Upper East Side in Manhattan, according to the New York Times. The jury deliberated for just a day and a half before delivering its verdict. Mr. Hare was found guilty of attempted gang assault, riot, and 3 counts of attempted assault. Mr. Kinsman was found guilty of attempted gang assault, riot, and 2 counts of attempted assault. The jury also found that Mr. Kinsman's actions were justified with respect to the lowest counts of attempted assault. So why not on the higher counts? What made them different? Was the jury shown all the evidence, or did the corrupt legal system manage to get evidence pertinent to the defense thrown out, as they did in the Alicia Owen case? Alicia Owen of the Franklin scandal. You can read about her on my blog, in the Franklin scandal. She was persecuted by our justice system when she was the victim. She was a victim of sexual assault as a minor, and because it was prominent men in the community of Omaha, Nebraska, they weren't treated like the criminals. No, they were treated like the victims, and they made the victim out to be the criminal. You can read about it on my blog, and the Franklin scandal. The New York Times, leading the left-wing media outlets, portray the Proud Boys as right-wing extremists and white nationalists. Gavin McInnes said in an interview in The Guardian, "We are not an extremist group and we do not have ties with white nationalists." He can't say that often enough. However, The Guardian also reports Clark County Officer Commander Michael McCabe said he obtained this designation from the FBI, although the FBI does not and will not police ideology. Regarding white nationalists, McInnes said such people don't exist. He always attacks Southern Poverty Law Center, which has designated the Proud Boys as an extremist group, which Gavin called lazy journalism, quote unquote. So I checked into it myself, and by only using the search terms Proud Boys Join, I found a video with an African American who appears to be the front man for the group. And you can see him here for yourself in this video.
Hi, I'm Yosef, and I'm here to explain who are the Proud Boys, or what is the Proud Boys. And the answer is the Proud Boys is a multi-ethnic organization that like pounding beer, defending the Constitution, and making Western babies. It was founded by Gavin McInnes in 2016 in New York when Gavin live on air questioned, where did men clubs go to, and decided to start one. The Proud Boys don't care about your race, who you go to bed with, what God you bow down to, or lack of God. All we care is that you believe that the West is the best.
You can see the rest of the video by a link below, that I have a link below. And you can see using an African American as their front man kind of goes against the narrative that they're a racist organization. And Gavin said on InfoWars that one of the Proud Boy defendants in a separate trial is East Indian. Gavin said that doesn't get talked about much since it doesn't fit the left-wing narrative. The Proud Boys are a bunch of racist scum. And that's how the New York Times portrays them. The brawl, as the New York Times says, mirrored clashes in other cities that had pitted far-right groups calling for free speech or chanting nationalist and racist slogans against leftists, including Antifa, oh poor Antifa, who have physically confronted those they deem to be fascists or Nazis. So clearly, the New York Times is framing the Proud Boys to be fascists or Nazis in this article. But as you can see from this video, Gavin McInnes would not agree with that assessment at all.
The opposite is always true. You know what I mean? Like they say, we're anti-fascists, right? And we're against the government, and we're going to go fight these fascists because they're Nazis, because they're full of hate. And you go, okay, that sounds good to me. Fight some Nazis. That sounds great. But what really happened? The Antifa is the paramilitary wing of the DNC. They are the government. They are the establishment. And they say, okay, go attack these Trump supporters, call them Nazis or whatever you have to do, and we'll let you get away with it scot-free. So they assault everyone, no problems for Antifa. Somehow they magically get lawyers, no media attention at all for the Antifa that attacked that guy. And then they take this alleged Nazis, the Trump supporters, and charge them with 15 years. I mean, they haven't been sentenced yet, but they're facing 15 years for defending themselves against a mob. So the fascists, the tyranny, is the left in this case. We've been through worse. We've been through the Civil War. We've been through the American Revolution. We've been through Vietnam, totally polarized America, and we fought through that. And truth, you know, the pendulum swings both ways, and I think truth is on its way back. These propagandists have no plan. They say no border, no wall, no USA at all. And I even heard a chant the other day that said, from Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have got to go.
There, so you see that video there, what he has to say about it. And the New York Times article admits McInnes himself has stated over and over again that he claims the Proud Boys were ambushed that night in New York City. But the New York Times goes on to say a surveillance camera clearly showed the Proud Boy members attacking Antifa. So I looked at the grainy surveillance video, and it was hard to see if Antifa members were armed. But you could see Proud Boys attack them from behind, which is not a good look for them. But we don't know what happened before that to motivate their actions. In another video, you can plainly see Antifa member throw a plastic container full of some liquid before the Proud Boys attack them. So it looks to me like they were provoked. How much they were provoked before that, I do not know. But it looks to me like both groups were spoiling for a fight. That is with my limited view of the evidence. Gavin showed a video of another time when they caught on camera how these left-wing terrorists operate. It doesn't tell us what happened on the streets of New York, but it does show Antifa carrying baton, and one member is hitting a guy with a flexible baton before the attack.
Tell me if this is violent. My monitor.
Even tarantulas aren't immune from an ambush. This centipede is a predator.
One whack. Two whacks. Okay, that's enough. Third whack. Kablooey. Oh, really? Now, what?
So you can see from that footage that Antifa can be very brutal and violent. So I don't believe that the Proud Boys alone deserve what happened to them in that courtroom. But I don't know all the evidence, and I don't know what the jury was seeing in that case, so I can't really be a judge of that. Gavin claims claims bottles of piss were thrown at the Proud Boys before they struck back. The video on the New York Times website shows an Antifa member throwing a plastic container of something. Perhaps that was it. I don't know. But I know the New York Times lies for a living. And they definitely only show you half the story. So don't take their word for it. Check into it for yourself. Please like my video and support my work on Patreon. My contact information